Good evening. Welcome to the regular Piqua City Commission meeting Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. We'll begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll chair. Sorry. Next, will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Fote.
Here.
Commissioner Pearson.
Here.
Mayor Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Grissom.
Here.
Commissioner Hines.
Here.
Next on the agenda is the oath of office for the Pickle Police Department for Police Lieutenant Miles Gearing.
So I just quickly wanted to say a few words about Lieutenant Gearing. He exhibits exceptional integrity. I think it's really important when it comes to community policing. Certainly he's got exceptional leadership skills, and I think he's going to be a great fit for the job. And I'm very excited to have him read his oath and start on the job right away in your next shift. So the police lieutenant's oath of office. I, Miles Gearing,
I, Miles Gearing,
solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will obey the Constitution and laws of the United States and of the state of Ohio.
that I will obey the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Ohio.
That I will in all respects
I will in all respects
observe the provisions of the charter and ordinances of the city of Piqua.
Slow down.
The provisions of the charter
of the charter
and the ordinances
and the
of the
ordinances
city.
of the city of Piqua,
And faithfully discharge the duties of the police lieutenant of the Piqua Police Department.
and faithfully discharge the duties of the police lieutenant of the Piqua Police Department.
Excellent. Well, if you can get through that, you'd be a great lieutenant.
Let's give him a hand.
Now here comes the important part.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, isn't this great? Stick him with it. Congratulations. Miles, you're going to do a great job. I have no doubt, having worked with you and knowing your work ethic, your ability for sound judgment, and your respect for the citizens. They're in good hands. Really, police department, you'll do us proud. Thank you very much for stepping up and taking the role. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
So there's only one item on the consent agenda this evening. That's the approval of the minutes from the July 20th, 21 regular Piqua City Commission meeting and July 23rd, 2021 special Piqua City Commission meeting.
Any questions?
Also on the consent agenda, I see resolution R64-21. Is that a part of that as well?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, that's been moved to August 17th.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't
So,
see
yeah, that's all. You weren't told.
that. Thank you.
All right, I'll accept,
I move that we adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, aye, and motion carries. Next is new business, resolution number R-65-21.
A resolution accepting annexation of 0.663 acres of certain real property known as 1801 Echo Lake Drive. Chris Smeezing, Development Director, will be giving the next, I think, like 6 staff reports.
Thank you. Don't be nervous by that. I think these are all fairly straightforward items and shouldn't require a lot of explanation. The first item is the annexation request from Forest Hill Cemetery, and it pertains to the small residential property that they own on Echo Lake Drive at the aforementioned address. I would point out in the packet, I think we've included, we shuffled some of the annexation agreements, but the zoning item towards the back does include the map showing the boundaries of what's proposed here, which I think you all have seen before when it was initially discussed. But this is the last step in the process of annexing that property. The cemetery has broken that piece off and will be conveying it to new ownership interest. So they're selling the property, and in doing so, they would like for it to be annexed into the city so it can be provided with city services. It's currently already on city water. There is city sewer in the vicinity should they ever need to hook up. So that's really the extent of the request. You'll see a couple items later. Planning Commission has also reviewed this with reference to the zoning recommendation and provided a zoning recommendation suitable for the property. It's been through the way that process works. It's an expedited annexation process since we have an annexation agreement with Washington Township where the property is located. So the petition is presented to the Miami County Board of Commission. It's recorded on their journal and then forwarded to the City of Piqua Clerk of Commission. Upon our receipt, there's a 60-day wait period required by the Ohio Revised Code. So the 60-day wait period is now lapsed, and it's time for the City Commission to take formal action accepting or rejecting the annexation request.
Any questions from the commissioners? Any questions from the public?
I was going to add, we have not received any comments for or against or any concerns, and certainly the Forest Hill has spoken in favor of it.
I'll entertain a motion then.
Make a motion, we approve resolution number R-65-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is resolution number R-66-21.
A resolution accepting annexation of 0.455 acres of certain real property known as 1502 South Main Street.
Thank you. Here again, the owner desires to annex the subject property, which is a slither of land that's located to the rear of Aesthetic Finishers on South Main Street. You'll recall that we've been working with them to relocate a water main behind the building. That project is now complete. With the water main relocated, they're able to put on a nice addition to the rear of their building that will enhance their operations and allow for them to continue to grow and expand at their current location. As part of that project, and they're working with us, they also plan to upgrade their parking facilities, pave that, curb it, modest amount of landscaping. So it'll be a nice improvement at the entryway of the community there. Here again, the petition's been filed with the Miami County Board of Commission. It was recorded into their journal and returned to the City Clerk of Commission, and we have passed the 60-day wait period. So it's now time for the City Commission to take formal action on accepting the annexation if that's your desire. No public comments for or against the item in this instance either.
Any comments from the commissioners?
No, I'm glad to hear that they're wanting to proceed along with the expansion and get a parking lot down there. I think that'll be a good facelift for some of the south end of town, so glad to hear that.
Any comments from citizens? I will entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number R-66-21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-67-21.
A resolution accepting annexation of 7.298 acres of certain real property known as 8665 State Route 66.
This property, once again, is a parcel owned by the Forest Hill Cemetery. Here again, they're looking to divest of this asset, and they are proposing that the property be annexed as part of their positioning it to be sold to a new ownership interest. The petition was filed with the Miami County Board of Commission. They entered it up on their journal acknowledging it in accordance with ORC, and it was forwarded to the City Clerk of Commission for formal action by the City Commission. Once again, the 60-day wait period has lapsed, and it would now be appropriate for City Commission to act on this request. Again, no comments for or against received by our office.
Any questions from the commissioners? Cindy, you sit on the board there?
I do,
And-
yes. This is just one of many steps that the cemetery is taking to have the funds necessary to build a new maintenance building. So that's why we are selling the properties out there.
Not a problem. Any questions from the citizens? I will entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-67-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-68-21.
A resolution authorizing an amendment to zoning map to assign the R1-AA, one family residential zoning designation to parcel M40-048100 upon annexation of the property.
Yes, this is the same property that was discussed earlier, located on Echo Lake Drive. In December of last year, the request was presented to the Planning Commission to recommend a zoning designation for the property upon annexation. After looking at the property and considering the size and location, the length of the frontage, Planning Commission determined that an R1A zoning would be most appropriate here, or I'm sorry, AA zoning. And that's what they have recommended the zoning be assigned to this property upon annexation. Having heard and presented their recommendation, it comes to the City Commission for the formal adoption of such.
Any questions from Commissioner? Any questions from citizens? I will entertain a motion then.
Make a motion, we approve resolution number R-68-21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-69-21.
A resolution authorizing an amendment to zoning map to assign the I-2 heavy industrial zoning designation to parcel M40-042440 upon annexation of the property.
Once again, this item was presented to the Planning Commission for their consideration. They reviewed the conditions here and found the existing I-2 zoning of the adjacent property occupied by the same ownership interest and improvements to be the most appropriate zoning for the area being annexed, which makes perfect sense, again, with reference to the extension of the building that will be occupying this space. It has been reviewed by the Planning Commission. They've provided their recommendation. The next step in that process is to forward it to City Commission for your approval.
All right. Any comments from the commissioners? Any comments from citizens? No? I will entertain a motion then.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number R-69-21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-70-21.
A resolution authorizing an amendment to zoning map to assign the R1-AA one-family residential zoning designation to parcel M40-250090 and M40-048150 upon annexation of the property.
Back to the second Forest Hill Cemetery property referenced earlier. This is the zoning recommendation from the Planning Commission for the 7 acres located between State Route 66 and the river. They have held a public hearing, considered the contemplated annexation, reviewed the master plan, the comprehensive plan for the community, looked at the surrounding zoning designations, the nature of this land, and determined that the R1AA zoning would be the most appropriate designation for the zoning of this property. And they've advanced that recommendation to you this evening for your consideration.
Any comments from the commissioners? Any comments from the citizens? I will then entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number R-70-21.
A second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are on 72, right? Okay. Mark that one.
We're on 71.
71,
71, that's
Yep.
sorry.
There we go. All right. Next on the agenda is resolution number R-71-21.
A resolution adopting the City of Piqua's anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan as required by the Ohio Department of Development.
Thank you. This is my item as well. So in consideration of the fact that we administer a community development block grant program in the city of Piqua, we are required by the Ohio Department of Development Services agency to have this policy in place. This is the same policy that we've already had in place in prior years. It simply is we're required to renew it every, I think it was 5 years. So that's what you have before you this evening is the same policy that we've had in place pertaining to this matter previously. And frankly, it's the language that they provide you and you're required to have adopted to be able to satisfy their program requirements. As noted in the staff report, we've never actually had to apply the policy. It's something that would seldom occur.
That's good.
Any questions from commissioners? Any questions from citizens? No? All right. I'll entertain a motion then.
I move that we adopt resolution number R-71-21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And last on the agenda is resolution number R-72-21.
A resolution to establish a designated outdoor refreshment area. City Manager Paul Oberdorfer will provide information with regard to this.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. So this resolution is to provide us the opportunity to fall within the 45-day requirement of enacting legislation to, I guess, approve our application downstate that's already been approved by the state of Ohio for the DORA. I think it's important to circle back to many months ago in the spring, we had a DORA committee that was stood up with engaged stakeholders from Main Street Piqua, business owners, the police department, several administrative staff, to look at what would be the best thing for the city of Piqua in terms of instituting a DORA. There was a lot of really good and thoughtful conversation amongst the committee. There was also a lot of stakeholder engagement that took place with social service agencies in the area, as well as churches and other sensitive establishments that might not want to have a DORA in downtown. So over time, we developed the DORA to reflect the proper boundary and established hours that are going to be enacted for the first 90 days trial while we work through this. We can come back and establish changes and make amendments to whether it's the boundary or the hours of operation through our actions. One thing I did want to touch base on is part of the application, just to give the public some idea of what we had to consider was land use and zoning. The land uses within the DORA are predominantly located within the central business district and are in accord with local zoning regulations, so we met that requirement. Public health and safety, we had the police chief as well as the director of sanitation talk about the policing efforts as well as sanitation and litter. Signage will be addressed through Public Works. And then as one thing that some people are not familiar with, they think of a DORA as an open container area, and it's not. It's a designated cup that comes from establishments that are licensed. The person that purchases the cup, as long as they're of legal age, they can take that beverage and go outside and enjoy the fresh air, but they cannot go into another liquor establishment with that cup. It's a clear cup with a designated sticker on it. There'll be signs posted and additional litter receptacles put out to handle that, hopefully, so we won't have any issues with litter. One thing I did want to bring up, and this article was kindly provided by our clerk, but there was an article, I think it was the AARP magazine. It says refreshments revitalizing the local economy. It's a really interesting article by Joyce Barrett of Heritage, Ohio, and it's talking about Doors as being a place now that is a saving grace for numerous downtowns, offering a means to economic survival for restaurants and bars, while also offering needed relief to a quarantined society as we come out of that. Fortunately, this was written a while ago. The road to recovery has been aided by the opportunity to reestablish social interactions in fresh outdoor space. And it cites many of the benefits as being that, municipalities are always looking for ways to increase jobs and revenues and sales revenues. And, it's pretty common that the longer people stay downtown, the more money they're going to spend. So it's a way for us to create an economic development opportunity as well as attract. We have some microbrews interested in investing downtown, and as one of the three elements that were key to bring and land them in Piqua, the DORA was one of the three. But it's also, when you think about people want to go and have a meal, and in this article they talk about taking their beverage to an outdoor space, and again talking about placemaking. So we want to make downtown be a place and placemaking that is amenable to those kinds of things, where you can have a dinner, you can stroll down the street, you can go over to Lock 9 when it's completed, and enjoy that with your beverage in hand. So we're asking that you go ahead and approve the resolution in front of you, and if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
This is just for the 90-day trial period, right?
It's for the 90 days. We'll come back and revisit it, yes.
Any other comments from commissioners?
I'll just make a comment. I was sat on the committee. Very good job at explaining it.
Yep.
One additional remark may be that the businesses themselves at any point in time can accept whether they want someone to come in their business or not, which is nice. So as that's going to be completely open to the business, we're just really just trying to see, give them opportunities to bring additional business in, or give them the options to do something they haven't done before.
So let me ask this. If someone buys a cup from like 311 and they're in their outdoor space, can they take that cup to the outdoor space at Scottish Thistle?
Once they actually go across the boundary, if they have outdoor seating at Scottish Thistle, they would have to dispose of that cup and then buy a beverage at the other liquor establishment. So it doesn't really impact the businesses either way. It's just a way that in between they can enjoy the refreshments.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. They can just take it outside where
Correct.
they're at. Okay. Any questions from the citizens about the Dora?
Are we limited to the number of establishments that might want to request to be a part of this?
So there's a minimum of liquor licenses, and we meet the amount of liquor licenses within that established area. And the area can't be greater than 150 acres, and we're well below that. So over time, with potential growth and the addition of other establishments that would like to be inside the zone, we can modify the perimeter of the DORA to include additional establishments. But the businesses themselves, there's really no limit to, whether or not you're going to allow somebody to come in your store and shop with a beverage in their hand. So it's entirely up to the business. If they want the sign to say, please come in with your beverage, please stay out, or no sign at all, and just, have people come in and enjoy the store. We have 3 choices.
So let's say there's a wedding going on Saturday. Are they allowed to, is that extended to the outdoor area there at the Scottish Thistle?
I don't think so. I mean, again, it's the 4th floor, and it's a liquor license tied to that event. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And I don't know if we're going to have our own Dora cups for operating the 4th floor, but probably not.
Just want to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, with all the events planned for the fall, I would think this would be a great opportunity for us to at least try it and give it that 90-day
Yes, and
test.
I agree. And so, the article also does speak to some of the challenges and, what communities have found even locally around here. And I've been to several communities that have Doras as well as around Columbus. Some people fear the worst about rampant binge drinking that nobody wants. And really no communities have experienced that kind of thing. It's not a frat party, open container, kind of a shindig type thing. I mean, that's really not what it is. But at the end of the day, I think that all but maybe 2 or 3 communities have had success, and the ones that haven't had success, I feel haven't engaged with the public and the stakeholders properly to establish proper boundaries and make sure that we're sensitive to the needs of social service communities, churches, and other affected parties.
Thank you.
Well, and I have to say, I know this conversation has been going on for a long time, and I think we have waited to do this to make sure that we had all of our ducks in the row, and we talked to people, and everybody kind of had an idea of what was going on. So I'm happy that we waited to do this, and I think it is a great thing for our downtown and for economic development to bring more people here, so.
Right, and I'd like to add one more thing. As part of a provision of the application, the city manager and the commission will be reviewing whether it's beer sales or issues that may be recorded through the police department. We'll have that data, and we'll have to review that. And so the door is good for 5 years before it has to have a review, but there are provisions that we can go in as part of this 90-day evaluation and look at how it's operating.
Sounds good. Again, any comments from citizens? No? All right. I will entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-72-21.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So, at this point, we will have public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the city commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are requested to be limited to 5 minutes, and specific questions should be addressed to the city manager's office. So at this time, please speak, citizens.
I think I count as a citizen.
Yes, you do.
I'm Jordan Nepper. I'm the Executive Director of the Piqua Arts Council at 427 North Main.
Yes, you are.
I just wanted to remind the commissioners that we are going to have a very busy fall season with special events in the community. The first one up is August 21st, and that'll be Rock Piqua. Little change this year. Instead of our traditional 7 to 10 concert, it's going to be an all-day festival in addition to a food truck festival. So we'll have 5 or 6 food trucks there all day. Music will start at noon. We'll have 2 different stages going all day long, so you'll be
Where?
able to hear. So the first stage will be in the quad near Quint Creative Signs, so whatever that is, southeast quad. And the second stage will be at the far end of Canal Place, away from there. All of the food trucks will be inside of Canal Place.
Okay.
All set up so you can come down and kind of meander through to both venues.
Man, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. We also have our Dancing with the Piqua Stars
Yep.
event coming up August 28th. We'll have 2 performances for that. September brings our annual art exhibit, which is the largest art exhibit in the Miami Valley region.
Yes.
We have nearly 200 works of art from 100 different artists from across the state of Ohio. There is an awards reception that you are all invited to come to on September 9th. And then Taste of Piqua. Main Street Piqua and Piqua Arts Council combined 2 events this year due to the calendars being a little weird. And so Taste of Piqua will happen on September 18th. It'll be a full-fledged art festival with a painting competition, arts and craft vendors, live music all day long, food vendors in the traditional Taste of the Art style, and a kids' activity area. It'll be quite the event. So hopefully you have your calendars
Great.
marked, and we'll see you down at some of our events.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for the
Thank you.
update. Appreciate that. Any other citizens that would like to make a comment?
Good evening, Commissioners. Lorna Swisher, Executive Director of Main Street Piqua. We're having an extraordinary season of the Piqua Community Farmers Market this year. We have most weeks at least 15 vendors, sometimes upwards of 17 vendors at the market. Some of them are reporting record sales, which is fabulous. It is really just incredibly gratifying to know that the Piqua community has embraced the market like they have, and we're having a lot of fun down there. In a couple weeks, we're going to be doing our first ever cookbook swap. So if you have any cookbooks at home that you want to unload and get somebody else's cookbooks, bring them on down. We're also having our popular favorites. We had the chocolate chip cookie contest a couple weeks ago. Record number of entries. We have the biggest tomato coming up. It's just a lot of fun to be down there, visit with your neighbors, hang out, grab some produce, and it's really just a lot of fun. Our third Thursdays will be wrapping up later this month with a Summer Beach Bash Back to School event. And we are so excited to have participation not only from the Piqua City Schools and the National Honor Society, but also we will have Piqua Catholic represented, as well as the Piqua Christian School as well. So inviting everybody to be a part of that event. And it's hard to believe the kids are going back in 4 weeks, so let's send them back to school in style. So we're excited about that. Jordan did mention coming up also, in addition to the Rock Piqua event, we've got our Rock and River Duck Drop on the same day, on the 21st. This coming Saturday will be the Down the River Down a Beer event, and ticket sales are going very, very well for that. Remind you that the Farm to Table folks are having their pickup dinner this coming Sunday from 5 to 7 at Pittsburgh Park. You can pick up a dinner for $25 per person and just drive through and pick it up, and the menu sounds amazing. So if you are not entertained with all the things that the Main Street Piqua organization and the Piqua Arts Council have, the Piqua community calendar is getting filled up with all of the activities that our friends at the Piqua Public Library are doing. If you're bored, it's your own fault.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you very much for the
Oh,
opportunity.
appreciate you. Appreciate all the things that you do. All right. Anybody else? Comments? Citizens? No? Then I guess I'll move on to the city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and
Good
Commissioners.
evening.
Thank you. First, I'd like to address some of the concerns we've had from downtown over the last few weeks with increased truck traffic. What we found out with that was that we have a lime hauling contractor. We're in the process. They've just completed dredging the dewatering pond for the water department, and so what we found was the broker was cutting through downtown instead of taking the truck routes. What that did was when they were coming through the south side of town to go out on farmland to the south of town, was adding an additional 80 trips of semi-traffic downtown. So we quickly, once the police chief identified that we were having this issue, we got with the logistics folks over at the broker, and they rerouted the trucks on the state routes, and that cleaned up a lot of the problem.
I think some of the people that work down there and own businesses identified the issue as well.
Absolutely,
They let us
yes.
know.
And it's good to have that feedback.
Yep.
So,
Appreciate it.
some of the other things that the police department identified were there were some trucks that were cutting through downtown, semis over 6,000 pounds, not taking state routes, and so they were addressed. And there's also a lot of local delivery that takes place, box trucks and even some semi-trucks that will have to use that street. In one in particular, UPS, that should be using a state route, was identified. So Chief Byron's going to give them a call and straighten
Yeah.
that out as well. But what we're going to focus on is really hard. You know, we don't want to take resource away from other policing activities.
I understand
So we're
that.
just going to focus on, you know, some increased targeted enforcement from time to time during peak periods. And certainly if the business community sees something, email me, email Lorna, text me. I mean, just let me know and we'll
Let us know
take
as
care
well.
of it.
We
Yeah.
want to hear.
And we'll resolve that. The long-term strategy is going to be obviously some capital improvements. And right now, and I know there's some feedback about the design elements that were put out in the public. And right now, it's just in preliminary design, and really, we're just vetting concept right now. There's going to be a lot of time for public engagement, for the stakeholders that have businesses downtown, and a lot of feedback opportunities. So that's in a very, very undeveloped concept right now. Some of the other concerns that were brought up were people hanging out downtown.
Yeah.
And so what we did was the police chief verified that during the night, the library is turning off their Wi-Fi. That was an attractive feature for some of the folks that want to spend the night down there. And then there was also power at the gazebo where they were charging their phones. So that's been turned off as well. So that takes care of a few of the elements. However, they do have a right to be down there. It's a public space. But we will be taking actions as needed if there is a need to do that.
Is there a homeless element down there, though?
Yes, there's a contingent of homeless.
Okay. And we're addressing that as well.
Correct. And then, you know, there's been some panhandlers downtown and on the edge of town.
Yes.
That's a freedom of speech issue, but if they are violating traffic laws or walking out in the street or having people get out of their cars, please call and we can handle that through the police department.
Or if they're in the right of way.
They're allowed to be in the right of way, it's just not in the street.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm.
Two other items I have, actually some good news. We registered for the American Rescue Plan Act, and it was received by the state. The amount of funds that we're to receive are $1,117,274.80. And so we're going to be putting together some programs, and we'll be speaking with the commission about the use of some of those funds. We're meeting with the acting finance director in 2 weeks, and Chris Measing, myself, and we're going to develop some programs. So
So that will be public on the website so that everybody can see what it is. we
It will
plan to
be,
do with it.
yes. As soon as I can get out there, it'll be out there, yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
And last, the reorganization efforts are continuing through the end of the year. This is obviously for economy and efficiency, but what this is going to do is allow us to effectively build the 22 operating and maintenance budget and have kind of a better view of what our expenses are and identify areas that we can really provide a focus, a community focus based on some of the elements that you bring to the administration. So we're doing our best to save where we can in our expenses and then be able to create some opportunities to do programs. And that's it for my report. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. How about some commissioners' comments? Let's start with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. I was going to mention, I'm glad Lorna and Jordan are here to mention all the events, because we do, August really starts up a lot of our events into the fall, and we have a lot going on. So as you said, Lorna, if our citizens are bored, it's their own fault, because we have a lot going on in the community. I do want to highlight with Rock Piqua, we have one of our local citizens who will be performing that evening, Christian Sterrett, who graduated a couple years ago from Piqua High School. He is in the band Cole Ritter and the Night Owls. They actually played out at Country Concert in the Saloon and have played at a variety of places around this area and in Columbus. So I'm excited that we'll have one of our own up there on the stage for Rock Piqua. So encourage our citizens to come out and enjoy that wonderful event. It always is a great, great event. Also, just a congratulations and thank you to Lieutenant Gearing and his family. I think about how touching it was to have his son put his badge on him.
awesome.
And you know, so many times we look at our officers and we have to remember all those people that stand behind them at home to support them, to allow them to do the good work that they do for our city and our citizens. So I am thankful for his family. He had a wonderful showing here tonight, and I'm thankful for his dedication to our department and our citizens and our city. So congratulations on the promotion, and we're lucky to have him. I think that is all I have.
All right, well, thank you. Next is Commissioner Grissom.
Thanks. I don't have too much. I wanted to thank for accommodating coming in early today, because today they have the National Lights Out events going through the city, so really hoping people are able to get out there and enjoy it. Beautiful weather. Hope the kids are enjoying it before they go back to school, so that's really all I have.
All right.
Thanks.
Commissioner Pearson.
Okay, tomorrow evening is going to be our last open forum at the gazebo, and the Miami County Commissioners will be there. Actually, it's just Wade Westfall, I think, is the only one that's coming. But it's an opportunity for you as citizens to ask questions, get answers, and understand a little bit more about what's going on at the city. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Foat.
So I would like to say that the Scottish Thistle has some bang-up food. Probably not the word for it, but had an opportunity to have dinner down there over the weekend and absolutely impressed. And while we were down there, there's some business owners that are out here in the crowd that we actually had a good conversation
Great
with as well.
conversation.
I want to thank you guys for your time, being able to take that time to talk to us while we were down there, talk about some of the issues with what's going on with the truck traffic downtown. Understand that the commission, the city manager, the police, we're doing everything that we can absolutely to address these issues for the business owners downtown. We understand that it's an issue, and we'll continue to go after this thing until we can come up with a permanent fix or get some kind of solidified fix that's in there that, opens that area up for the traffic that belongs down there and that doesn't belong down there. So thank you for that as well. Tax-free weekend, I believe, is coming up this weekend for the parents that need to go out and do their school shopping, so take advantage of that for our citizens. And that's about it. I hope to see some folks out at the National Night Out tonight. I'll be out driving around town and trying to visit some of the areas, and I look forward to seeing some people out there. And that is all I have for this evening.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank all of you guys for your comments. And I would just like to thank Lieutenant Gearing. I had the honor to serve with him when he was a patrolman before he went into the detective section. And the guy is top notch. It was great to see his family here and all the support of his fellow officers that were back there. It was wonderful. This guy is dedicated. He's very knowledgeable. He's going to do a great job. And any new officer that we get that serves with him under his tutelage is going to benefit from his experience and knowledge. So I look forward to that happening. Thank you, City Manager, for updating us on the traffic issue. I did get to speak to some business owners that are concerned, rightly so. I've heard from several people about the number of trucks coming down Main Street, and some are supposed to be there for local deliveries. I understand that. But then, like you said, the UPS trucks with the double trailers, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So we appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to seeing people out and about to all this August activity that we've got going on. And Lorna did a great job, and so did Jordan, of letting us know some of the August, September type activities that are happening. Please go out, please visit, and partake. It is a wonderful thing. And those opportunities that we as a city have for volunteerism, please take us up on it. I mean, we have boards and openings. I think we still have some openings for the diversity committee. Am I correct, Karen?
We do, the deadline's passed, but we don't have enough applicants to fill the board.
So we need some more applicants for that. I would love to have that board filled. There are people that just step up and say, hey, I'm interested. I'm willing to do what it takes to help the city. And then there are people that like to say what's wrong with the city. And I would suggest those people be part of the solution and not the problem. And, I love our high school students. One in particular, Nolan Campbell, he's out in the audience. This kid is amazing. He volunteers on our park board. He's got some boards that he's volunteering for the school, and he's running for a commission. And the kid is an example of what more people in the city need to be like. I appreciate everything that this kid does, and he's a good example. So thank you, Nolan. Appreciate it. So, and if tonight is National Night Out, please go visit. I know there's one at Green Street. There's one out at Indian Ridge. Where else?
There's one up
Chief?
in,
WPTW on the lawn. That's right. I did see that. I thought that was good. Eagles Lake
yeah,
Drive.
there's one- Beckert has one, yeah.
Beckert. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna hit all those. That sounds like a winner. Where else? I can't hear you. Boba, yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, I did see that as well. Go visit. Have a good time. We appreciate everybody out volunteering. National Night Out's important. We want to support our police and our community, and we appreciate everybody going out and doing something. So with that said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.